The Black America team took a short trip to the Bronx to Lehman College, where we met and sat with the iconic poet and activist Nikki Giovanni. Our host, Carol Jenkins, had a chance to first catch up with Giovanni and discuss some of the earlier memories of when the two first met.
We met when you were like this young revolutionary poet making trouble in New York City and around the world. And I was just starting my TV.
Just on Straight Talk.
Right, my TV career, right. That was half a century ago, Nikki. But since then, you have had this astonishing career, and I've been following you. In fact, this last Kwanzaa, I was just reading to my two grandchildren your poems, you know? I mean, and they were like enthralled, you know, so that I'm telling you, you've written for the ages. So 30 books later, 7 NAACP Image Awards, a Grammy nomination, keys to cities all over the world, including New York City. Anything else? Honorary degrees?
We have a bunch of those, but I guess what I'm most excited about, because you do film, is that we won first prize at Sundance.
I know.
And I was so proud of my producers. Yeah.
That is for the documentary on your life, We're Going to Mars?
On to Mars, the Nikki Giovanni project.
Right, based on your poem.
Yes.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because what I love, I mean, the film is just astonishing. Won first place, best documentary, for best life, probably.
I don't know about that, but we'll take documentary.
But the poem itself, you say, we're going to Mars, and one of the reasons is that we have the hardware. We can do it. But what are the other reasons?
My position to NASA is, and has been, and I love working, I work with them, not for them, they put up with me, is that you have to get more black women particularly involved. Because if there's life on Mars, the first thing black woman's going to say is, are you hungry, baby? Did you have anything to eat? Because you can go any place, black woman's going to say that to you.
So you think black women should lead this expedition to Mars?
I definitely do. I think that black women, there should be more black female physicists. And we know that from John Glenn. You know, I grew up in Ohio, and of course John Glenn ultimately, he was the first man into space, but he also, his trip was really controlled, not by the computers, but by the 7 women who did that.
Black women.
Excuse me, yeah, I mean, I thought everybody, yeah. And they finally made a movie out of that, which was good. Because John would say, you know, I'm not going unless, he called them the girls, I'm not going to go until the girls say it's safe. And they said, you know, well, because you know how black women talk. So, okay, baby, you can go now. We got your back. And having more black women, in all fairness, and it's not, I'm not trying to get rid of white women or anything, but having more black women involved in physics is going to be one of the great, maybe saving points of planet Earth.
Well, and I love that you're advising NASA on this.
Well, I do, because I got involved with NASA when Charles Baldwin was
first black head of NASA, yeah. Right?
He's so cute and he's so nice, and he liked my poem and asked could he use it for a project he was doing, going to Mars, and I said yes. But I mean, I have a very small office, Carol, and so it was like, yeah, tell him yeah. And then we got a call about a month later, and they said, you know, Dr. Giovanni has not sent us an invoice. And I said, invoice? Yeah, I had no idea I was going to be paid for it. And I said, oh, wait a minute. You mean you want to pay me for using a poem? And they said, yeah. I said, well, this is what I want. I want to meet Dr. Baldwin.
And that was the payoff.
Exactly,
that was the payoff.
And he said, well, I want you to meet my team. And so it was working. It was like my people will call your people, but we finally got it worked out, and then I got to meet him.
I just love it that it's a poet, you know, who is taking us to Mars. That is just fantastic.
Of course. I mean, who else should? We're friendly, we're smart, we're good cooks.
You have a way with words, right? Yeah, definite way with words. Yeah. Now, we're at Lehman College, where you're participating in a symposium on James Baldwin. Now, you and I were talking before we started recording how incredible it is that all of these years later, people are watching the video of your conversation with him. You were what, 28 then?
I think I was about 27, 28.
A kid, you know, he was maybe 20 years older.
He was 20 years old.
And the dialogue, in fact, that's how it was published afterwards, this conversation between these two writers and observers of American life was so profound and provocative and persistent, because people are still examining it.
I can't begin to, I'm thrilled. And if I could do anything, they have a new camera. I'm not really good with electronic things, but they have a new camera that you can press and take out things that you want taken out. If I could do any one thing, I'd take the fact that we all smoked. Jimmy smoked and I smoked. And I would take the cigarettes out.
Right.
Because going into space, if you smoke, as I did, will end up giving you lung cancer, which it did. And my doctor is crazy. I love him so much. My doctor's position is, well, anything you have two of, you can get rid of one. Huh. And so when he said, I'm sorry to tell you, you have cancer. I said, okay, Gregor, what should we do? And he said, well, you got two lungs, so just throw it out. And so he took my left lung, it's gone.
Oh my gosh, we were so worried as we were reading accounts of that, but it's wonderful to see you recovered and giving advice to others not to smoke. Do not Whatever smoke. You do, and that's in the you and Jimmy puffing away.
Yeah, we both did.
Right. But one of the things that you said in that conversation, you were talking about police brutality. And you say something like, he calls himself a peacemaker, but tell me that if he's shot 38 bullets into a black guy who's lying on the ground before him.
We know, and I'm sure you know as well as I, that the community needs policing, and I don't know another word for that. I think that police people, men and women, need to live in the community, first of all. I don't think you should be away from the community. I don't think you need guns, because to think that a gun makes you safe is an insanity. We see that. There are more guns in America than there are people.
Precisely.
And nobody's safe. You can't go to Kroger's, you can't go into Walmart, you can't go any place that somebody might shoot you, let alone drive your car. And I have a son, so the first thing you teach them when they are old enough to get their driver's license, when you get pulled over, put your hands on the wheel. His name is Sir, no matter, and do not try to explain anything.
Interesting to hear the revolutionary Nikki Giovanni saying, put your hands on the wheel and call him Sir.
Yeah, because I can pay for a ticket, but I can't buy another son. And so this is something we give up. In order to keep my son, I have to give up some of my pride, and that's probably true of all of us. And so now I have a 54-year-old son. I think it was good.
Good advice. Yeah, we all do the same thing now to our sons and our daughters.
And our daughters.
So you were so young when you had that conversation with James Baldwin in your 20s. What do you see in the new generation of writers, or how are they doing? Are they tackling the issues as you did and do?
Well, I think they're taking another step. We're always climbing Jacob's ladder, but obviously my favorite writer, because I love him so much, is Kwame Alexander. I was fortunate enough to teach him, and we have become friends. He and his family, and we've all become friends. And then his mom died last year, so I don't nag, but I've got to take it over that position with him. But there's also a young woman whom I really like so much, Renee Watson, and your youngsters might like Renee. And Renee is from, actually, I think, Portland, Oregon. But she's doing YA, young
adult, right?
And I really like what she's doing. She's very, well, I have a weakness for smart people, and she's very smart. And I read all of her books. I enjoy it. But otherwise, I'm reading nonfiction. Right now, I'm into physics, and that's what I'm really studying: physics and the galaxy. And the galaxy is expanding. And so the question when you talk to the physicists is, if the galaxy is expanding, is the Earth expanding also? And if the Earth is expanding also, then obviously we're going to become a black hole at some point. So all of this is interesting to me, and that's where my time is being. Yeah.
I know that you've just retired recently from Virginia Tech, where you were for 37 years. Yeah. Beloved to all of your students.
Not all, but
well, that's pretty good. Most. Because my guess is that you're a pretty hard marker anyway,
No, actually I'm very easy, because the one thing that I said to I say it because, one, I teach poetry and I also teach children's lit. So these are two things, don't make money. So if you're taking the class and this is what you want to learn, you have to worry about doing well, because if you're a really good poet, you're not going to know it. You are not going to know it. And 100 years from now, somebody's going to say you're brilliant. You'll be dead. So you don't have to worry about it. What you want to do is the truth. And as you may or may not know, Virginia passed a law that teachers can carry guns. So I went into the classroom when that law passed. I went into the classroom, and I said to my students, I said, you saw that teachers can carry guns to protect you, because we had a big shooting at Virginia Tech. And I said, do you think I should have a gun? And they laughed about 10 minutes. Right. And said, Nikki, you can't. I said, well, what do you think we should do? They said, well, first of all, if you had a gun, you wouldn't remember where you put it. You wouldn't remember
or how to use it.
But I also teach with my door open. Right. And I said, I think that the thing to save all of us is that we should have the students come in, take their clothes off in front of just before they come in, and then come into class. Because if I say something that upsets you or somebody else does, they don't have a weapon. You see, and they don't. Nobody has to worry about it. The men didn't like it.
They didn't. I'm sure they.
The men didn't like it, but every woman has seen a penis somehow. I said, if you haven't seen one, you felt it. Either way, well, men ought to get over that. Hiding their penis. That way, we know that whatever that bulge was, it wasn't a gun. And so.
I see a poem coming out of this right away. I do want to talk, though, about the incident in 2007, where you became the consoler for the students at Virginia Tech, and actually for the whole country, the whole world, who witnessed the aftermath of one of your students, it turns out, who was the assassin who killed 32 students, 32 people. And apparently when you addressed them, you had to tell them, terrible things happen to good people. Did you ever get over that? Did the students ever get over that?
I don't want to speak for my students. I can speak for myself. You don't. And there were a couple of students that I truly loved. And one was Maddie. You wouldn't know Maddie from a hole in the wall. But Maddie, and I knew it, was shot in the chest. And I wanted to see his mother, which I did, to say, I know that Maddie was shot in the chest, because I knew he would never run, that he would try to help. But I thought my job that day was to address my student body. What I didn't know was that the Queen of England was watching.
Yes. Right.
And when she came to America, she asked to meet me. And I thought that was interesting. I mean,
I know.
You don't meet the Queen of England often.
No, but, you were the good words, the hopeful words for the entire country, and as I say, the world. But
no, you don't get over. I mean,
you don't get over it. But you had a premonition of this, because you had asked to have that student removed from your class.
Well, I actually wanted him out of the school, but I did. No, I didn't ask. That was the easy one. Right. I teach on Tuesday and Thursday. I taught on Tuesday and Thursday, and I went to my department head and said, "This is what I see," and he's got to get out of my class. I think it needs to be addressed. And she said, "You don't understand him." And I said, "No." Right. She's a nice person. "No, you don't understand me." On Thursday, because that was a Tuesday, if he's not on my class by afternoon, you'll have my resignation from the school. And it got her attention, and she said, "Well, I'll teach him." I said, "I don't care what happens. It's got to be out of my class." If we do love, Carol, and I'm sure you know that, we have to do hate. If we do good, we have to recognize evil. And Mr. Cho was evil, and you could feel it. The classroom could feel it. And so I would be losing my class for this evil young man, because and I don't know. But
you felt it. Do you think your sensitivity as a
poet? I think so.
Right.
You could feel it, and every time when he'd walk into class, the whole room you could feel it. And so something I thought my responsibility was to say what I knew. Right. Maybe I should have taken it to the president. Maybe I should have taken it to the Board of Visitors, the government. I don't know. But you did, your instinct was... we got to say, I'll take it to the next step, and then they'll take it. And I say, I'm so sorry, because I remember most of my students, but I remember a couple of my students said, you don't love them all. You like some of them you forget, but a couple of them I do remember very well, and it was like, I knew when I heard about it, I was not, it was a Monday shooting, and I'm never on class on Monday. I'm never on campus. So I knew he wasn't after me. I didn't have that as a problem. And the next thing that I knew, when I started to see the numbers, I said, Maddie is, and it just hurts because
Sure.
he was just beginning to be such a great kid. You know how they blossom.
You now are a grandmother.
Yes, I am. My granddaughter will be 17 in about a week.
You all have always loved writing children's books and reading to children. Are you hopeful for this generation that your granddaughter is growing up in? I'm sure partially or all identifying as a black woman and her future in this country.
I first of all, I have, for me, and I know this is Black American, all of it, but for me, I've really stepped beyond the countries because I think that it's foolish. I think it's time that people who live on this planet recognize that it is the planet that's important, not any particular piece of land. And I have suggested, though nobody's taken me up on it, that we run a contest, $1 million contest, to find the proper name for what we call Earth, because we're not Earth. Most of us is water. And so we ought to have a contest that whoever can come up with the proper name will win this $1 million, because that's not bad. And I think that we need to think about, again, how we respond to the galaxy. And as you know, recently the asteroid was coming, and everybody was, we got to shoot the asteroid, we got to get rid of it. And I thought, well, as far as I know, the asteroid is not against it. It was not here to harm us. And being an oyster lover, you know what oysters look like. Right. Who would have thought there was a life form inside oysters? So we don't know what the life form inside of the asteroid. But Earth, we do know. I've been fortunate enough to go up. I can't go into outer space because of it would kill me to come back. Right. But I can go up to 70,000 feet, which I've been lucky to do. And I have seen the curve of the Earth. We are pretty. The Earth is pretty. It's a blue planet. It's very pretty. And so as far as I could see, and I wrote a poem about that asteroid came to mate with us. That life form sees us as a life form. And Dr. Robertson, who runs the kind of cheerful part of NASA, said, I said, you're talking about blowing it out. But what you need to do is to tell it, we're sorry, we're spoken for right now. Or,
I know, but I never thought I'd be asking you about this. But what do you think about the balloons that are appearing over the United States?
Actually, they are there for another reason. I don't think it's friendly. I don't think it's a mistake. And so blowing a balloon out of the air is not the same thing as going up 80,000 feet or so and wanting to harm something that we don't know. The balloon is not a life form. It's a balloon, that we know. The asteroid that we were
that wants to come and
might have been, right. There might be
people, or what we would call people, life.
A life form. Do you eat oysters?
I don't.
Oh. But they're rocks.
But I do know what they look like.
And you know what they look like?
I do.
So who would think that there is a life in it?
I know, but just like I don't like oysters, I don't like the idea of mating with an asteroid, but...
You don't know anything about mating. Asteroid might not like what you mate with.
Okay, I take your word for it, Nikki. I take your word for it.
We all mate.
So talk to us about, you have a new book coming out. I mean, you've got 30 already, but have a children's book called The Library, and I want to ask you about banning books, is there a book that should be banned in your mind? Any book that's worthy of being banned?
No. If the word is there, if the book is there, then whoever wants to read it should have that opportunity. I'm very fortunate with the library, and I love it because I had the pleasure of meeting Dr. Carla Hayden, yes. who is the new
librarian, also a black woman, right?
And she
debuted
we keep
the pointing book.
Out but she debuted it at the Library of Congress, and I was thrilled. I was honored that she did. But I don't think that words or the words that make up books should be. And I just found out, Carol, that I was banned in Florida. So,
right. Some surprise, right?
And I think, I think it's, I don't like Nazis, but I don't think you should ban I don't think anything should be banned. That if they can't read and learn, then how are we going to make any decisions? And so the idea that all of a sudden I don't want my child to read that book. Well, maybe, and I'm not going to even fight with that. If you don't want your child to read my book, I understand. But I want my child to read this book.
Right.
And so you shouldn't be able to ban it. It's like, the 18th Amendment was one of the dumbest things that ever happened in the world. 18th Amendment, for those who don't remember the Constitution, was the one that banned alcohol. It's ridiculous. We had a little group of people that said, I don't think people should drink. Of course people should drink. What are you going to do at the end of the day? Of course you should.
Read poetry. You can write poetry.
Maybe, but I can tell you what I do. At the end of the day, I have a glass of champagne.
Every day a ship.
Almost every day. And the older I get,
The more champagne.
no, I can tell you when I drink it at 6 o'clock. So I can tell you when it's 6 o'clock because my body just says, champagne, champagne. I say, oh, it's 6 o'clock somewhere.
Right. So they shouldn't have banned alcohol. They should not ban the books. And so how do we get around this? You're now a celebrated poet, so influential. Your books now, can't be read in Florida?
I guess, not in the schools. I don't do Florida.
And the libraries that you love so much.
And I love the library. Well, the librarians whom I do love are fighting to have books, not just mine, but they have a right and a responsibility to have books. And I don't like what the Nazis are doing. I dislike, and that would be the nicest term that I could use, Donald Trump. I dislike the people that are trying to control me and my body. I am a big fan of the transgender students who say, well, I'm going to name myself, I'm going to decide what pronoun I will be addressed as, and I'm going to decide what my gender is, and actually what my race is, which means I can also decide my religion. In other words, slavery was a bad idea, and I'm going to now name myself. And everybody said, no, we are going to decide. You, Carol Jenkins, are going to say, well, I'm going to be a woman. And somebody said, well, you can't be a woman because when you were born, they said you were a man. Well, you can, if you want to be a woman, what's it have to do with me? What's it have to do with where you go to the bathroom? You got to pee somewhere, and we can't have you opening up, the door. I mean, it's that kind of thing that makes you crazy.
Yeah, well, you have to help us figure out how we can fight back to keep you in the library.
We fight back with words.
With words.
We fight back with words.
Well, we will definitely do that. Speaking of words, as I said, I was reading your poems to my grandchildren for Kwanzaa, and tonight your poetry is being read in the fourth grade here in New York City. I was saying, Nikki is famous everywhere. My daughter called and said, oh, someone's reading Nikki's poetry. Well, if we could ask you to read one poem for us, I would agree. This is from Make Me Rain, one of the 30 Nikki Giovanni books that you can get in your library and at school, almost everywhere except Florida.
And we had to do something about Florida. Right. There is a bat in Ecuador named the Microcip Giovanni. My Latin is not good. Dr. Robert Baker named it after me. He discovered it while studying bats and thought the big ears were just like me. Maybe if the bat wrote, she would be a poet. There is a plaque in Lincoln Heights where I went to school, and a plaque in Knoxville across the street from where my grandparents lived. I'm also lucky to have awards and daydreams, or is that daydreams and awards? And I'm lucky to be happy at what I do and how I do it. So this is my bio. I'm here, and if I missed on emotional soil, a weed will grow. Make me rain. Let me be a part of this needed change.
Wow. And that's your biography. I know when you Google Nikki Giovanni and you see the bios that she's written about herself, this is what you get. Well, you are definitely a part of the necessary change that we need in this country. I'm so glad to be able to spend some time talking with you. And let's make a promise that we'll do this at least every 50 years.
Absolutely.
Okay, that we will catch up.
Have a glass of champagne.
And have a glass of champagne, 6 o'clock or not. Thank you so much, Nikki Giovanni, for being with us today. I hope you'll come back.
Well, thanks, Caroline.
And thanks so much to you all for being with us today. I'm Carol Jenkins. The show is Black America, and we will see you the next time.